Okay, is my screen visible, everyone? Please let me know. Is my
Yes, sir.
screen visible? Okay. So today we'll be starting a new topic. So let me see. So we have completed till module 8. Today we'll be starting module 9. Okay. So today we'll be seeing what code obfuscation is. So let me write it down. Code obfuscation. Can anyone tell me what is code obfuscation? Any idea? Okay. So code obfuscation is basically a technique, or we could say a added layer of security which is given in our Android application, where the attacker cannot understand the code flow, or I could simply say the source code is not in the human readable format. Let me show you example. So for example, right now this is the application, right? So I'm using JDGUI to see the source code, and you could see the source code is in readable format, right? I could simply read the code, I could see the code, but if the application is having code obfuscation, this code will be not in human readable format. Okay, so right now this application is not having code obfuscation, but if the application will have code obfuscation, the code will look something like this. Okay, something like this, or I could say something like this. So basically this is the original code and this is the obfuscated code, right? So code obfuscation, let me repeat it one more time. So it is a technique, we could say, which is given in our Android application, or a security measure from which the attacker cannot understand the code flow, or the source code is not in human readable format. For example, right now we could read this code, right? But if code obfuscation is present, then we could not understand the code, or we could not see the code flow, what is happening in the code, right? Clear, guys? Let me know. Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me write it down. Added layer of security to our Android app. The attacker cannot understand the code or code flow. Okay, so this is code obfuscation, and this is a vulnerability, and the severity of this vulnerability is low. Okay, but this is a vulnerability. And why do we use code obfuscation? What is the reason behind code obfuscation? Security is the first reason, right? So basically, if the application is having this, so it is more secure, right? No one could see the source code of the application. The first reason is security code, basically the security. What is the second reason? Why do we use code obfuscation? So the second reason is it enhances the overall performance of the application. Okay, so it will basically increase the performance of that application also. And secondly, it will basically save that application from any attacker or intruders. So this is two things. So it will increase overall performance. Clear, guys? Any doubt? So this is code obfuscation. It is easy to find. What you have to do, you have to decompile the application. Okay. What happened, Priyanshu? Arshit? Any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Tell me. Okay, clear. Okay. So how to find it? It is very easy. First, you have to basically use dex2jar to get the source code, right? So you have to use dex2jar to get the source code. After that, you have to use JDGUI to see the source code. Now, if you could see the source code like this, if it is in the readable format, then you could say that this is a vulnerability and you could report it. This is a P4 vulnerability, low level vulnerability, but yeah, you could report it. Okay, and if this code is not in human readable format, basically you could not read the code properly. For example, there is some alphabet used, A, B, C, D, something like that. So it is having this protection, right? Now for code obfuscation, there are some tools we could use. Karthik, turn off your mic. Okay. So for code obfuscation, if you want to apply code obfuscation in your device, you have basically a lot of tools which you could use. So first one is ProGuard, which is used for code obfuscation. This is a free tool you could use. Okay. Secondly, we have DexGuard, which you could use. Okay. So these two tools are basically used for code obfuscation. What is the question in the chat? Can this layer be removed by any method? While no, if the application is having code obfuscation, we cannot remove it, right? So it is implemented when the developer is creating that application. And if an application is having code obfuscation, there is no way to remove it. That is the reason code obfuscation is there. Okay. So you could use these two tools. Let me write it down. Tools by which we can obfuscate our code. Okay. The first one is ProGuard, and the second one is DexGuard. Okay, so this was about code obfuscation. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the next topic, very important topic. Difference between static application security testing and dynamic. Can anyone tell me what is the difference between static and dynamic testing? Normally, not in terms of Android apps, normally.
Sir, in static it do not change, and dynamically it changes.
Okay, anyone else?
In static, we only analyze the source code, and in dynamic, we run the application in a sandbox and then analyze.
Correct, 100% correct. So when we are talking about this static source code analysis, right? Let me write it down. Static application security testing, also known as SAST. Okay. And the second one is dynamic security, okay, known as DAST. Now, the major difference between static and dynamic is that static, we basically see the source code, right? So in static code analysis, what we do, or we could say static application security, we basically examine and analyze the source code to find security flaws in the application. For example, there is an application known as Amazon, right? So what I'm doing, I'm basically seeing the source code of that application to find vulnerabilities, okay, or we could simply say bugs. So what I'm doing in static application security, I'm only examining the source code of the application to find security flaws. Clear? So we examine the code to find security flaws in app. Okay. So this is normal static analysis, and in this what we do, we basically see the source code. And how we do this? It is simple. We use tools such as Dex2Jar. So with the help of Dex2Jar, what we do, we simply first get the application code, then we see with the help of JDGUI, right? So this is what we do. So in static application security testing, we analyze the source code to find vulnerabilities, okay? And we use Dex2Jar and JDGUI. So we simply, if you know any one language, Android applications such as Java or Kotlin, which is used to make Android apps, right? So if you know, then you could simply perform this static source code analysis, okay? With the help of this, you could analyze the code and you could find vulnerabilities if you know Java or Kotlin, anyone, okay? So this is what we do in static application security testing. We basically examine the source code. Now in dynamic, what we do, we basically find the vulnerabilities which are found during the runtime of the application. So these are the vulnerabilities which we find during the runtime of the application. For example, we are running the application in Genymotion, right? At that time, any vulnerability that we find or we found is known as dynamic security analysis. Okay. So for example, in dynamic, we use Bubsuit. Bubsuit is one of the tools that we use for dynamic testing. And the next one is Dozer. And we'll be seeing the practical also. So in static, we have this source code. We could analyze the source code with the help of Dex2Jar, or we could say JDGUI. Then in dynamic security analysis, we simply use Bubsuit or Dozer. Guys, any doubt, please let me know. Am I clear what static and dynamic testing is? In static, we see the source code and we try to find vulnerabilities. And in dynamic, we basically find vulnerabilities at the runtime of the application using tools such as Bubsuit, Dozer. Any doubts? Anyone? Yeah, Movisive is also a tool. I will be coming to that also. So Movisive is also used for static as well as for dynamic testing. right? So I will be coming to that, don't worry. Okay. Now let us come to this source code analysis. Source code analysis. What do we do in this source code analysis? How to find? So the first one is manual way. Okay, we use manual way. Basically, we go to the source code and we find hard-coded information. We find any sensitive information such as API key, details, IP, right? Any information. So we try to find hard-coded information in the source code. This is the first way. What is the second way? We basically use MobSF. So MobSF is a tool which we use for static analysis as well as for the dynamic. So if we are doing source code analysis, so we could do with the help of MobSF tool. Okay. So this is the automated way of doing this source code analysis. Clear, guys? So for source code analysis, we do manual. First of all, we just see the source code. If the code is in Java or Kotlin, we find vulnerabilities, or we simply see if there is any information. And in the second one is also source code analysis manually. Okay, this is manual and this is automated. So MobSF is a tool which is used for source code analysis. We could also use for dynamic testing. Okay. Now let us see how we could find manually if the application is having any information, how we could find manually, right? So the easiest way, if you don't know, like if you don't know programming language, so you should use this MobSF tool. And if you know, you could simply go and you could analyze the source code with the help of this JDGUI. But if you don't know, no worry, I have one easy way, which is MobSF. Now what we have to do, the first thing that I have told you, manual, hard-coded information. How to find this? Once you have decompiled an application, right? I have told you how to decompile an application. With the help of APK tool, you have to decompile the application. Once you have decompiled the application, you will be having a folder, right? Now you have to go to that folder. In that folder, you have to go to resources. I have explained what resources is. You have to go to this folder. Now in this folder, you have to search for values, only values, nothing else. You only have to find this values folder. Go to this values, and in this, you have to find the strings, string.xml file. You have to open it. And now in this folder, sorry, in this file, XML file, you could find a lot of information. So every time you're doing testing for an Android application, you have to see this application. Now, which information we could find? We could find API keys, like we could find AWS URLs, anything. Yeah, go ahead. Any doubts? Okay. So how to find it? Simply right now, let us see. You have to go manually. You have to search for it. So let us see if you are able to find anything. Let us see what is the URL. Okay, so as you can see, I'm able to download some config files, right? So this is also one of the things that we found. Let us see if we are able to find something else. Okay. You could simply search for keywords also, such as API, right? So yeah, you could see I'm having this Google API key. Let us see if you are having Firebase key. Yeah, you could see I'm having Firebase API key also, right? Now you could simply exploit this also with the help of key tools. Simply you just have to type key tools, GitHub, and you could exploit it if you want, right? So with the help of this, you could exploit it. Sorry. Key tools. Let me open in Chrome. Sorry, key hacks. Yeah, not key tools, key hacks. So you have to go to this specific URL and you could exploit. For example, if you are having Firebase, you have to search Firebase and you could click on that, and then you have steps to follow, right? You have to follow the steps to exploit that API key. Clear, guys? So this is how you could use this. Now, this is how we have to find hard-coded information, right? I have just showed you this is the hard-coded information that we found, the API key, right? We have found this Firebase API key. So this is how we could simply find hard-coded information. So this was manual, right? We simply go to the strings file and we found that. So what you have to do, you have to go to rest, then you have to go to values, and then you have to go to strings.xml file, right? Now, secondly, you have to do the source code of that application. You have to go to your JDGUI and you have to see the source code. But if you don't know any programming language such as Kotlin or Java, then you could not able to understand it. So leave it. Secondly, MOB SF2. So with the help of this also, you could do static analysis as well as the dynamic analysis. So how to install this MOB SF2? So previously, the installation of this tool was very hectic, but now it is very easy to install it. Simply, you have to go to this URL. Let me give the URL. Okay. Now, what you have to do once you are in this URL, you have to go to your Kali. Now, in Kali, what you have to do first of all, you have to install Docker. Okay. Once you are having Docker, what you have to do, you simply have to copy this first URL or command. I could simply say you have to copy it and you have to paste this command in your VMware or your Kali virtual machine. Okay. So simply go to your VMware. I'm using my VMware right now. Guys, if you are having any doubts, let me know. So right now, I'm already having this MOB SF, right? So if you're not having this MOB SF, what you have to do, first of all, you simply have to use that two commands that I have told you. MOB SF, GitHub. So what you have to do, first of all, you have to download Docker in your Kali, then you have to copy this, you have to paste it. So you will download this MOB SF tool. Now to run it, you have to run this command. Okay, just copy and paste it. Let me use sudo and let me run it. And now it will take few seconds to start. Now, if you want to open this, simply you have to open this URL. Just right click and you have to open this, or you could copy it and you could open it. Now, this is the dashboard of MobSF, right? Now, what you have to do? First of all, you have to upload an application which you want to test. Okay, so just click on upload and analyze. This is the application that we want to test. Click open, right? And now upload and analyze. So it is analyzing it. So let us wait. Okay, let me go back and let me use this second application, Practo. And one more thing, I have told you yesterday also, when you are doing static analysis, you have to see this Android manifest file, right? You have to analyze this file also, because a lot of things are in this specific file, such as flags, I have told you, content providers. So you have to analyze this also, right? But if you are using MobSF, so what MobSF will do, it will simply do this also. It will basically analyze your Android manifest also. So let us see. We have to wait. It depends on the application. So let us wait. So let me give a quick recap. For source code analysis, we use two ways are there or method. First is manual and second one is MobSF tool. So manually what we have to do, we have to see for hard-coded information and we have to basically analyze this file. And second thing that we have to do, we have to analyze the source code with the help of JDGUI. And the third thing that we have to do, we have to analyze the manifest file. And the second thing is with the help of MobSF tool. We are doing this source code analysis with the help of MobSF tool. Okay, so let us see. We have to wait for a few seconds or minutes. Guys, any doubts, please let me know. Sir, how do we get the file from Windows to virtual machine? Like which file? The app, right? Yeah, you just have to drag and drop. For example, in case of if you are using this virtual box, you have an option. In VirtualBox, we have an option. You have to go to VirtualBox. So in VirtualBox, you just have to click on this settings. In settings, you have to go to this advanced and you have to click on this bi-direction, right? Drag and drop also, you have to click bi-directional. And then you could simply have to go to OK and you have to press OK. Now simply you could drag and drop any application in VMware, sorry, in VirtualBox. I will try. Okay, I will try to organize a session, Sonar. Don't worry. We will see if we have enough time. So, I think you were having three assignments, right? So, two assignments are given, and the last assignment will be basically a project. So, you will be having two assignments which are already given to you guys, and the last one will be a project which is manual and automated Android app pen testing, in which you have to basically manually find vulnerabilities and automated. You have to find vulnerabilities with the help of MobiSF. You have to do automation. Okay, you have to do automated Android testing with the help of MobiSF, and manually you have to do. So the project will be given to you. I will be explaining once we have completed the syllabus how we have to do project, everything, right? So that is the important thing. Project. We simply have to find vulnerabilities. Then we have to make a report. Guys, any more doubts? Please let me know. Anyone, any doubts? Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So it will be like the VAPT, right?
Yeah, you could say it will be something like VAPT, but yeah, you will be doing for Android application.
Okay.
Simply, you have to do manual and automated testing for an application that will be given to you, and you have to make a report.
Okay. Thank you.
No, you don't have to create an app, right? You just have to test the application. So we are learning application pen testing. We are not learning application development. So there is a difference between development and pen testing. In pen testing, we basically find vulnerabilities in Android apps, right? In Android application pen testing. And in development, we basically develop an Android application from base. Okay, so we have to write the code, then we have to sign it. So that is a different field. Application development is a different field.
Can this can be done in Android Studio also?
Yeah, you could do this in Android Studio, Nox Player, Genymotion, any, like you could use any emulator, right? You just have to give the outcome. It doesn't matter what tool you are using, what Android version you are using. You could do in any version, any emulator, right? It depends on you.
Okay, sir.
How to use in Nox Player?
Simply Nox Player, what you have to you have to do, first of all, you have to download Nox Player, right? Then you have to download ADB. ADB you have to download. You have to type in Google ADB download, right? Then you have to download ADB SDK version, and then you will be having the ADB. You have to install it. Then you could simply have to connect that ADB with your Nox Player. Then you could use it. You could find a lot of videos in YouTube for that.
Sure. Thanks.
So if your laptop is not having good specs, right? So Genymotion sometimes will not work properly if your laptop is not having good specs. Okay, like if you're not having a good processor, Genymotion lacks few things, right? But yeah, it is the best. You could use Android Studio if you're having low specs, like you're having low processor, okay, RAM. So you could use that also. So in my scenario, I'm having, I think, how many cores? I'm having 14 cores. So that is the reason I don't face any problems. But yeah, if you are using a low end PC or laptop, then you will face some problems. i3 7 Gen, yeah, it will work. It will work in i3 7 Gen. I'm actually, my previous laptop was i3, this 3 Gen, I think, 3 or 4 Gen. So yeah, it will work. So it is taking a lot of time. Yes, it will work, but yeah, it will be slow. So Genymotion will work in every device, but yeah, it depends. If your processor is not up to mark, then it will run very slow, but yeah, it will run. It doesn't depend. Okay, basically it depends on the speed. So if you are having a good processor, the speed will be very good. And if you are having a low processor, then it will lag. Genymotion will basically lag in that case. But yeah, you could use Android Studio. Yeah, after we have completed this, you could simply go to Bugcrowd, HackerOne, or you could go to any responsible disclosure pages and you could hunt on that application, right? And you have to learn. Even after this, you have to learn. There are a lot of things in Android, right? We are having a very short time, so I'm not able to cover everything, but yeah, I have given you when we have completed this sessions, all the sessions, so you will be having intermediate level knowledge, right? Now you have to expand your knowledge by reading articles, mediums, write-ups, right? So yeah, you have to work on yourself. So actually, this is taking a lot of time. So let me use some other app. Okay, so this application is taking a lot of time.
Sir, your screen is not presentable.
Yeah, let me share my screen. Okay, so we'll be seeing this application. Actually, that application is taking a lot of time. So this is the CV application we are having right now. So as you could see, it is telling the application name. Once we have uploaded and analyzed the app, we will be having this dashboard. And let me explain you. So we are having the name, application name. We'll be having the package name, right? Now we'll be having activities, services, receiver, providers. I have told you we could see all these things in our Android manifest also, right? I have told you we could simply go to our Android manifest and we could find this type of things also. You could find a lot of things in our Android manifest. So let us see. First of all, we have basic information. Then we have this certificate information, right? Yesterday we have seen 3 types of certificate. So this application is signed with V1 signature, okay, and it is not signed with V2 and V3. And I have told you that V1 certificate is having vulnerabilities. JNS vulnerability is in this V1 signature. Okay, so let us come. Now you could see permissions, right? I have told you yesterday that if the application is having read external storage and write storage, so that is a vulnerability and that is dangerous. Now, if you could see, you could manually also, you could see this, right? We are able to see this manually also, this permission, right, guys? And this MoveSF is also doing the same thing for us. Now let us go down. You could see Android APIs. Now you could see certificate analysis, and I have told you that the certificate was vulnerable to this JNS vulnerability, right? This is the V1 certificate, version 1. That is the reason it is vulnerable. But if the application is signed with V2 level or V3 certificate version, so that is not vulnerable with anything, right? V3 is the most secured one. Now let us come. You could see we are having a lot of things. We are having manifest analysis. So this is the manifest that we have to see, right? We could manually see this, or we could see in this MobSF itself. You could see what we are able to see. We are able to see Android debug true. I have told you what debug is. Android backup true, right? We are able to see these two things, and both of them are vulnerability, low level vulnerability. Now let's come. You could see this is the code analysis. The one I have told you, you could do with the help of JDGUI, right? So it is doing manual. This is doing the automated, what we could say, scanning, right? Automated source code scanning. We could simply do manually also, but yeah, if you don't know, it will take a lot of time. So you could see this is the source code, and it is disclosing the IP address, right, guys? So this will do source code analysis. This MobSF will do source code analysis for you. A lot of things will be done. If you could see, right, we are having this shared binary libraries. Then we are having analysis. We could see a lot of things. File analysis is not there. This is basically related to the malware analysis. So this everything that we are able to see in malware analysis, we are having this different types of analysis. Okay. Now let's come to reconnaissance. We are having one URL. There is Firebase database strings. This is the string file, right? I have told you resources. Then we have to go to values. Remember, guys, this one.
Sir.
This one that I've told you, it will basically scan that also. So right now this application is not having any specific keywords. It is showing the activities also. I have told you that we have to see activities also. We have to see services also, right? So these are components. See, these are the components. I have told you what components are: activities, services, receivers, providers. So these are all components. And if you need, you could simply download as a PDF report also. You just have to click on PDF report and you will be having a PDF report of your application, right? This is the PDF information, PDF version of your application. So this is the report you can see, and we have got 38 marks out of 100. Okay, so the application is having C grade, so it is not secure that much. It is having 4 high severity vulnerabilities, 6 medium, 2 info, right? So this is the things that we could find. A lot of information is there. So this is how we could do static analysis with the help of MobSF. Now we could use MobSF for dynamic analysis also, right? So this is how we have to do source code analysis. You could do manually also. If you don't know Java Kotlin, just do this automated one. Clear, guys? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So the next thing that we were saying is dynamic analysis, DAST. So in dynamic, we have two tools. I have told you the first one is Browser or Bubsuit. Sorry, Browser. And the next one is Bubsuit. So we'll be using these two tools for dynamic analysis. Okay, so dynamic analysis are the vulnerabilities which are, so that's basically in dynamic analysis, what we do, we find vulnerabilities or issues at the runtime of the application. And these are two, we could say, frameworks which we'll be using. So Browser and Bubsuit. Now let us see the setup for Bubsuit, how to basically connect your Bubsuit with your Genymotion Android device. So can anyone tell me what Bubsuit is?
Bubsuit is basically used to website penetration testing.
Okay, no. Bubsuit is not only used for web application, it is also used for Android. And Bubsuit is a proxy intercepting tool, right?
Yeah, for proxy we use it.
Yeah, correct. So Bubsuit is not only used for web, it is also used for Android pen testing and this iOS pen testing also. So now how to set up this Bubsuit for your Android? First of all, if you're not having Bubsuit, you could simply download Bubsuit by visiting this specific URL. Bubsuit, you have to download Community Edition because Professional is paid, right? So you could simply download it, go straight to downloads, and you could simply select this one, your Windows 64-bit. If you are using Mac OS, you could select Mac OS and click on download. So download will start. Clear? So this is for Bubsuit. I will be using professional version. You could also use professional version. You could just go to YouTube and you could search for crack professional versions. So I will be using Bubsuit Pro. So let me open my Bubsuit.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think screen is not moving. It's still showing the old.
Okay, just a minute. Yeah, now can you see my screen? Guys, let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for this Bubsuit, what you have to do, first of all, you have to download Bubsuit. You could either use Bubsuit Professional. If you want Bubsuit Professional, you could simply go to YouTube and you could search for Bubsuit Professional. There you could see a lot of videos for the installation, right? So you could do that also. So now what we have to do, first of all, open your Bubsuit. Once you have opened your website, what you have to do, first of all, we need a certificate. We need a certificate that we want to install in our Android device. So go to your options. In options, we have a option option for importing and exporting certificate, right? So click on this option. Click on certificate in DER format and click next. Now you can select the path where you want to save this file. So I'm giving my desktop. Click save. So you have to give a name also. I'm giving Bob and let me save it. Now you could see I'm having this certificate file, right? Now what I have to do, I simply have to drag and drop this file into my Genymotion Android device, right? Now what I have to do, I have successfully copied this file. What I have to do, I have to go to file manager. Okay, I have to open my file manager. Where is the file manager? Yeah, this is the file manager image. Now where we have to go, we have to go to our downloads. Okay, and we could see this buff file, right? Now what we have to do, we simply have to rename this file. We have to rename this file to .cer and we have to save it. Now what we have to do, we simply have to go to settings. Okay, go to settings. In settings, we have to go to security. In security, we have to go to this install from SD card. We have to install certificate from SD card. Click on this option. Go to your downloads folder. Okay. Select this Bob cert that we have just renamed. You have to give the certificate name. Okay. You don't have to make any changes. Leave it. You have to click OK. Now, before doing this, you need to set a lock, right? So just click on OK and you have to give a lock. So I'm giving a pattern. Okay. So continue. One more time. Continue. Don't show. Done. Now we have successfully installed the certificate, right? You could see this. Now what we have to do, we have to go to our Wi-Fi. We have to go to more settings. We have to simply click on this and we have to click on modify network. Now in modify network, what we have to do, we have to click on advanced options and you have to select proxy as manual. And then you have to give IP address. From where we have to find this IP address, simply open your CMD and in CMD you have to type IP config. You have to find your device IP. So this is my device IP. I simply have to write this IP 192.168.29.4. Now port number is 8080. You could give any name, so I'm giving this Bob, and you have to click on save. Now what you have to do, simply you have to go back to your Bubsuit. You have to go to your options only. You have to click on the tick mark. You have to remove this tick mark. Click on edit. Now in edit, you have to select this all interfaces and click on OK. Yes, tick mark this. Now what we have to do, we have to go back to our Android device. We have to turn off and then we have to turn this on. Now what we have to do, just go to Chrome or anywhere and we have to turn this on and we have to search anything. And if you could see, you could see I'm able to capture this, right? I'm able to capture this. So we have successfully set up our Bubsuit for Android device. Clear, guys? Write down the steps. So from tomorrow, we'll be seeing how to do dynamic analysis. We'll be seeing how to find vulnerability with the help of Bubsuit, how to find vulnerability with the help of this browser. So let me write down the steps for you guys. Okay. So should I write down the steps or is it okay for you? Let me know.
It should be feasible if we get the steps.
Okay, no problem. So I'm stopping my screen sharing and I'm writing down the steps. Okay. So let us wait for 2 minutes. If you are having any doubts, guys, please let me know. Okay. Yeah, I will be giving a recap. Don't worry. Okay, I will be giving a quick recap of worksheet also, and you will be having the recording also. So don't worry. And remember, guys, all the recordings will be removed from YouTube after we have completed our Android pen testing syllabus, right? So you only have time till we have not completed this syllabus. After that, the videos will be deleted. Okay, so I have written the steps. Now let me give you guys a quick recap. Okay, so can you see my screen, everyone? Okay, so for dynamic analysis, we'll be using two tools, Rosen and Bubsuit. So Bubsuit is a tool which is used for dynamic application security testing. And first of all, what we have to do, we have to download it. You have to download Bubsuit. You could use this URL. Then what you have to do, you have to install Bubsuit. After installing, you have to go to your Bubsuit. In Bubsuit, you have to go to your proxy. In proxy, you have to go to your options. In options, what you have to do, you have to create a new certificate. Okay, certificate in DR format. Next, you have to give a name, location, and you have to generate this certificate. Once you are having this certificate, you simply have to drag and drop this certificate, right? You have to drag and drop this certificate to your Android device. Once you have done this step, okay, so you have to go to your file manager. In file manager, you have to go to your downloads and you have to change the file name from DER to CER. Okay, clear, guys? The next step, what you have to do, you have to go to your settings. In settings, you have to go to your security. So what we have to do, simply go to your settings. In settings, go to your security. Now we have to come to this install certificate from SD card. You have to select your certificate. Okay, let everything be default. Do not make any changes, right? Then what we have to do, we have to go to our Wi-Fi. In Wi-Fi, we have to, first of all, we have to click on this and we have to press it and we have to click on this. Click on modify network. We have to give our laptop's IP address. For that, you have to go to CMD and simply you have to type IP config. Okay, this is your IP address. You have to write the IP address here. You have to write your proxy port number, which is 8080. Then you could give any name and you have to save it. Clear? So this step, everyone clear? Please let me know. Is this step clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, in your Bubsuit,
Yes, sir.
you have to go to your Bubsuit and you have to simply unmark first of all, then click on edit and you have to select all interfaces. Okay, and you have to click OK, then tick mark this and you are ready to use your Bubsuit. Clear, everyone? So this is the steps that we have to follow to install our burp suite. Tomorrow we'll be seeing how to set up browser. After that, we'll be seeing vulnerabilities. Clear, guys? So we have completed till we have done this step, dynamic analysis. We have done burp suite. Tomorrow we'll be seeing browser. Then we'll be seeing this vulnerabilities. Any doubts anywhere, please let me know. So that's all for today, guys. Let me know if you are having any doubts. Anyone? Yeah, you could intercept traffic from your physical device also. Same steps. You don't have to make any changes. Guys, let me know if you are having any doubts, or else I will be ending the session.